Moisture destroys air quality. And the surprising part is that the damage often begins long before anyone notices mold. Most people believe mold starts with dark spots on a wall or ceiling. Something visible. Something obvious. But mold is usually the final stage of a much quieter process. The real cause is almost always moisture. Small moisture problems inside a home can slowly weaken indoor air quality long before mold becomes visible. That moisture feeds mold spores. It increases airborne particles. And it creates an environment where breathing becomes more difficult and sleep quality slowly declines. This process often develops quietly. Behind walls. Inside cabinets. Around windows. And in everyday spaces people rarely inspect. If this resonates, like, share, and subscribe so we can grow a community that pays closer attention to the small environmental changes that shape our health every day. So in this video, we will walk through 5 hidden moisture problems that quietly damage indoor air quality and feed mold growth inside the home. And the 5th problem is one of the most overlooked moisture sources in the entire home. Several of these are surprisingly common. And once you recognize them, they become much easier to prevent. The first 2 problems are very common in everyday homes. And the 4th one surprises many homeowners. Let's begin with the first one. Hidden moisture problem number 1. Condensation on windows. Condensation often looks harmless. Many people simply wipe the glass and move on with their day. But condensation forms when warm indoor air touches a colder surface. That simple reaction tells us something important. Humidity levels inside the home may already be too high. When moisture collects on windows, it usually means excess humidity is circulating through the indoor air. Over time, that moisture can seep into nearby materials. Window frames. Drywall. Wood trim. These materials absorb moisture easily. If they remain damp long enough, mold spores can begin to grow. Even before mold becomes visible, microscopic particles can enter the air. Those particles affect indoor air quality and can irritate the respiratory system. So what appears to be simple condensation can actually be the first warning sign of a larger moisture imbalance inside the home. And if moisture continues circulating through the house, it often shows up in another common place. Hidden moisture problem number 2. Poor bathroom ventilation. Bathrooms generate more moisture than almost any other room in the house. Every shower releases a large amount of water vapor into the air. If that moisture cannot escape the room, it settles onto ceilings, walls, and surfaces. Bathrooms without proper ventilation slowly accumulate humidity. At first the change is subtle. Mirrors stay foggy longer. Walls remain slightly damp. The air feels heavier after showers. Over time, that humidity feeds mold spores that thrive in damp environments. Even when mold is not visible, airborne spores and microbial particles can circulate through the home. Air moves between rooms more than people realize. So moisture that begins in a bathroom can influence the overall indoor air environment. Good bathroom ventilation helps remove that moisture before it settles into building materials. It is one of the simplest ways to protect indoor air quality. Now here is something many homeowners find surprising. Some of the most serious moisture problems happen in places people rarely inspect. Hidden moisture problem number 3. Slow plumbing leaks. Small plumbing leaks under sinks or inside cabinets often go unnoticed for long periods of time. Because the leak is slow, the water may evaporate before it forms a visible puddle. At first, nothing appears unusual. But the surrounding materials may remain constantly damp. Wood, drywall, cabinet bases, insulation. These materials slowly absorb moisture. That damp environment creates the perfect conditions for mold growth behind surfaces. The activity remains hidden, but microscopic particles can still enter the indoor air. Sometimes the only early sign is a musty odor. People may notice a strange smell in the kitchen or bathroom without understanding where it comes from. In many cases, the source is a small plumbing leak that has quietly created a damp environment for months. And if moisture continues circulating through the home, the kitchen can quietly become another hidden source many people never suspect. Hidden moisture problem number 4. Cooking moisture without ventilation. Cooking releases more moisture into the air than many people expect. Boiling water, simmering soups, dishwashing, even steaming vegetables. All of these activities release water vapor into the kitchen air. Without proper ventilation, that moisture remains trapped inside the room. Humidity levels rise. Over time, moisture settles onto nearby surfaces. Cabinets, walls, ceiling materials. These areas slowly absorb the moisture. And when materials remain damp repeatedly, mold spores find an environment where they can survive. Even if mold never becomes visible, microscopic particles can still circulate through the indoor air. That is why ventilation during cooking plays an important role in protecting indoor air quality. A small airflow change can make a meaningful difference over time. And now we arrive at one of the most overlooked moisture problems in the entire home. Hidden moisture problem number 5. Moisture trapped inside walls. Water can enter walls in several ways. Small roof leaks, exterior cracks, poor insulation, or gaps around windows and siding. Because these spaces are hidden, moisture may remain unnoticed for months or even years. Building materials inside walls can slowly absorb water. Drywall, wood framing, insulation layers. When these materials remain damp for long periods, mold colonies can grow quietly behind surfaces. Air moving through wall cavities can carry microscopic spores into the living space. This means the effects may be felt inside the home even though the source remains hidden behind the wall. By the time visible damage appears, the moisture problem may already be widespread. That is why early moisture awareness is so important. The truth is simple. Mold rarely begins as a mold problem. It almost always begins as a moisture problem. When moisture accumulates in hidden areas, indoor air quality slowly deteriorates. Particles enter the air. Musty odors develop. Respiratory irritation increases. And the indoor environment becomes less comfortable over time. Protecting indoor air quality begins with understanding where moisture hides inside a home. Small environmental changes can prevent larger problems later. Better airflow, consistent ventilation, moisture awareness, and occasional inspections in hidden areas. These simple steps can dramatically improve the health of the home environment. Because the air inside a home quietly shapes how people breathe, sleep, and recover every day. And the most effective improvements often begin with something simple. Paying attention to moisture. If this video helped you, like, share, and subscribe for more ways to support your well-being at home. Thanks for watching, and remember, wellness truly begins at home.